Thanks for staying with us on this extended edition on your Saturday morning of 13 ABC Action News. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Christina Williams.
And I'm Diane Larson. We are continuing to follow this breaking news that is affecting the water in the city of Toledo as well as Lucas County and parts of southeastern Michigan.
This is a story we first told you about at 2:30 this morning. We sent out a text alert. That text alert actually sparked a lot of people to get moving and into action.
Again, any of the water from the city of Toledo, which, as they said, includes about 500,000 people, don't drink it.
He described it as a bit of a panic, the mayor did. Folks went out this morning and they tried to buy up all the water they could find, and now there's none to be found in many places around Lucas County, even outside of the county.
First and foremost, residents must remain calm.
The city is asking Toledoans and any resident that receives water from the city to not drink or boil their water.
The reason for this is microcystin, which is the toxic part of the algae bloom, has been detected in our preliminary tests and in our confirmation tests at our water treatment plant.
That's the chemical we were talking about. Microcystin is the chemical that showed up 2 times higher than it should be in the Toledo system over at Collins Park, correct? So we're looking at southern Monroe County, the city of Toledo, and then some 400,000 to 500,000 customers that it reaches throughout the suburban area.
It's my understanding that there was pretty much everyone panicked and went out and grabbed water earlier in the early hours of today, and so the retail establishments do not have water.
I will say the list of places with water is very, very small, if existent. The places without water is very, very large, which includes a very large store called Costco. This store was supposed to open at 9:30 today. We got here at 9:25 and they were basically out of water at that point.
The governor has declared us a state of emergency.
Really, it comes down to let's prioritize how much of a threat this is physically to people. Let's talk first about ingesting it.
That is the major threat as of now. Ingesting the water, which carries this toxin, as we're concerned about right now, is the threat. If it's higher doses, can cause some nerve injury, which can result in tingling of your hands and some neurologic damage. It can affect the liver, in which case you would have symptoms of liver inflammation, but those are, again, nausea, vomiting, rather nonspecific. Okay. So, but that's all you can do. You've drunk the water. There is no antitoxin. There's no reason to run to the hospital. There's no reason to get any other treatment. Obviously, don't drink anymore.
And here are some of the things to look for: diarrhea and nausea, abnormal liver function and dizziness, and headaches.
Even the city says at-home filters will not cut it at this point. And they said that here at this office that they have redirected some of their patients that have their most dire need for dialysis to other locations if they absolutely had to have dialysis today.
We are making already at this point contingency arrangements to bring in more drinking water if need be.
People are coming up to us asking, how can McDonald's be open when they don't really have a way to wash their hands? Well, they actually do have a way to wash their hands. They've been putting a plan together since about 4 a.m. this morning, and we were told by one of the managers that they have a business out of Perrysburg where they had hand sinks delivered to them so that they're able to wash their hands as well as sanitize the dishes as well.
Whenever you're ready.
We are ready.
Okay, by way of an update, here's where we're at. We have been in communication, as I said earlier, with the governor's office. We now have samples in flight, 1 to Columbus and 1 to Cincinnati. We anticipate somewhere between 5 and 7 o'clock tonight to have the results of those samples. We are setting up distribution points.
There's still people desperately trying to find water, and here at 13 ABC, we're trying to get you connected to a lot of those resources.
We're giving away water at all 3 of the fire stations in Oregon. The number 2 station at Wheeling. This is the number 1 station at Seaman and Wynn Road, and then also our Bay Shore Road fire station number 3.
We'll walk you right over here again. The line is fairly short at this point right now, but again, earlier it was all the way down the street, wrapped around the bridge, because people are obviously just desperate to make sure that they have some water.
The mayor said in a news conference not too long ago that he hopes to have an answer within the next 5 to 7 hours based on the 2 new samples sent to EPA authorities in Columbus and Cincinnati. But again, very, very clear that we don't know when we're going to know when this will end.
We just handed this.
We just got an update from the city of Toledo and Lucas County. Okay, so I'm going to give you some times. This is for the water distribution. We've been waiting for this, and it's more specific as to where you can go to get water and when. First of all, if you have water, don't go to the sites. A lot of people might get a little panicky and try to get extra water. but if you have it, then let people go who don't have access to it. At 5 p.m. this evening, Central Catholic is going to have water available at the site. Also, Waite High School over on the east side will have water available at the site.
One of those distribution sites expecting to get that water by 5 o'clock. Our Senna Ora is there. Senna?
You're absolutely right. 5 o'clock, that's when the city hopes to begin distributing water here at Waite High School. Now, many have been waiting in line since noon because those times keep on shifting.
Now, you're looking at the cars that are actually in front of Springfield High School. Well, this line on McCorden Hall goes all the way back to the back of the high school. All of these people are in line for a 5-gallon jug or a 6-pack.
The water crisis has forced at least one local high school football team into hurry-up mode this morning.
And this week marked the start of those two-a-day practices. 13 ABC's Jeff Smith was with one of the teams this morning.
The line was working up a sweat this morning at St. Francis. So are the receivers and the defense. But with the city's water warning not to drink it, coaches and trainers needed to scramble.
They went to a store and bought water, and one of the coaches lives in Oregon, which their water supply was safe to drink. So he went and took several jugs out to his house and filled up the jugs and brought them here. So that's how these kids are able to practice.
The big question is, why is this happening? I mean, we've had algae blooms before, but like I've said earlier, I've been here 30 years, and I think this is the first time we've ever had this extent of a water advisory, people told not to drink.
Yeah, and it's a number of factors go into it. We heard the legislators say, hey, we saw this coming, trying to do something about it. We wanted to bring in a water expert from the University of Toledo. Dr. Isabel Escobar joins us in studio. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And you were explaining to us why this is happening now.
Yes. So it's a combination of factors. We have right now the perfect temperatures. It is warm, but not too warm. And we also haven't had a lot of rain, so the water is pretty still. When there's a lot of rain and thunderstorms, you have a lot of motion in the water, and so it prevents the algae from becoming buoyant and coming to the surface. And then with the low winds, they're also not moving, and we continue to have problems of the runoff from fertilizers, livestock, and what comes from the wastes of the livestock all go into such a shallow river. Such a shallow lake, being that our lake is the most shallow one. So all of that gets together, and it's leading to this problem. But it's a problem that we do have algae blooms every year. We do have closures of the beaches every year, but it's just that this year it seems that all the conditions are perfect to lead to this.
But I do want to take you over to our graphic system. This is what it looks like from space right now. You can see Lake Erie, courtesy here of NOAA, providing this satellite image. A lot of the lake blue, but then once you head closer to where Toledo is, right on the mouth of the Maumee, so I'm drawing that in here, you can see how the color changes. More of that really neon color green beginning to show up versus the dark blues across the area, and that is some of that algae that we're concerned about, that bloom that's developing across the area.
Bill Horman standing by. I understand, Bill, Senator Portman with you right now?
Yeah, Senator Rob Portman just stepped up within the last 30 seconds.
As you may know, I've been involved on the algal bloom issue for the last couple of years, trying to ensure that we do more at the federal level to fight this harmful and toxic algal bloom situation. And what's happened is kind of the worst scenario, where there's a bloom that has found its way on our shores here, including around the intake valve. And so we're looking to see right now with federal EPA down in Cincinnati exactly what the toxicity level is. But probably there'll be a necessity to either increase the treatment of the water, hopefully that can work, or try to figure out some other way to get this bloom. Mother Nature may have to help us here to move off the shore here.
You know, they take daily testing of this water, and I guess to put it in perspective, maybe it's like, you know, when you prick your finger for a blood sugar level. You know, that's a daily check of the water. This is, you know, going the full bore and getting a blood test and taking a look deeper. 3 different tests, taking a look, and 3 different tests have to agree with one another. In other words, we have to have the same result from all 3 before we declare the water is definitely unsafe to drink or that it is safe to drink. So again, that's going to take a little bit of evaluation at this point, and that's what they're doing.
Diane, we have learned that the first truck that arrived here, there was 5,040 gallons of these bottles inside that truck. They have given most of those away, and the city of Toledo has shipped in another 4 pallets of water to Central Catholic, which you can see over there. They're actually moving those pallets and water over to the sidewalks.
Fortunately, with this kind of help and the numbers here, we can get these cars through pretty quickly. We've already downloaded about 7 trucks. I can't even keep track now of the number of pallets that we've unloaded, but cars are coming through at a pretty good steady stream.
At this hour, it seems as though we have more questions than answers, and we're not sure what tomorrow will bring. Are you prepared to do this again tomorrow?
They've called on us to see if we can help with volunteers, and we will.
Another truck is coming through. Councilman Sykes just pointed out another truck. You see is it the U-Haul? The U-Haul is filled with water bottles. It's in line. It's going to pull over here off to the right-hand side as soon as it reaches this bend where they will unload even more water.
Retail outlets are restocking their supplies of bottled water.
That's right. Sean Haggerty checking on that one particular location. Sean, what do you have for us?
Yeah, we're checking in on the Walmart stores, and we were told that 2 trailers arrived today. They're not saying specifically at which locations that they went to, but 2 trailers came in and more are expected tomorrow. They're still trying to work out the specifics of what are coming in tomorrow, but Walmart is prepared to bring in even more water tomorrow. This comes on the heels of information we just got from Kroger that they have 24 total trucks coming to the area with about 1.25 million bottles of water.
So that's the situation here at Springfield High School. Again, the distribution site is closed for the night, but it will reopen tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
When this all started, Sean?
Yeah, since about 8:30 this morning, we've been checking in on all kinds of reports of price gouging. We didn't get to everything today. We had a lot of viewers reaching out to us on social media and phone calls here in the newsroom, but we just want to give you a sample of what we found today. Take a look at this. Across the street from the Westgate Shopping Center, we saw some people selling water for $20 a case. This guy eventually saw us and decided to get out of the $20 of water case business. We also went to another business charging $13 a case. We went in there looking for some answers about how a case that says on the side 40 bottles for under 10 cents, which if you do the math, should be about $4, ended up costing people, including us, $13 when we went in and paid for it today. They said it depended on, and that happened because of the supplier they got it from today. They didn't know how the high price got the way it did. There's your $13 right there. Then a Craigslist ad that was offering water for $10 a case, so we responded to the ad.
Hi, Sean Haggerty from Channel 13 News. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Saw your ad on Craigslist about selling water.
Yes.
What are you selling it for?
$15.
A case?
Yes.
What'd you pay for it?
Enough and a lot of hard work. Why?
I just wondered.
Are you interested in buying some?
Just wondering if that might be price gouging.
What you need to know before you go to bed tonight and when you wake up tomorrow morning is that you need to check with us because we'll be monitoring the situation overnight for you.
Is we're looking to see by mid-afternoon where we're at in terms of the broader picture, and that is how far out has this one into the system and when can we start drawing back in. If it wouldn't be safe for my own children to consume, I wouldn't ask anybody else to take that same risk.